Hello and welcome to our today's webinar from the Dynamic Projection Institute. Maybe you have joined our other webinars before. I'm Martin Willner, I'm your host, and I will guide you through the session today. First of all, I would like to thank you that you joined the webinar, and I have a promotion. You see it on the screen. We are on the Integrated Systems Europe this year again. We are on two booths. We are at the Optoma, where you will see a dynamic projection, dynamic panorama with cutting-edge, soft-edge technology, with free mirror heads and a live MDC session on a plinth. We are also on the Vividec booth, where you will find us doing some very hot projections, colorful projections with our mirror heads and the MDC-X and the MDC software. So these are big shows. These are very cool things, and today I will guide you through the basic steps how you do a nice show with some random effects and with some LED effects with MDC-X and the mirror head. Today we will mainly focus on the software itself and how to program it. We will go through the basic steps of planning a show with mirror head and the MDC-X. Then we will show the potential of the built-in LED ambient light of the mirror head. And then we go to the preset programming and timeline programming and scheduling of jobs every day. Another task we will basically touch is how to remotely control the MDC and the MDC-X. This can be done by DMX or OSC. There was a big show in Vienna, the Electric Church, that was done with 3 mirror heads by 6 mirror heads, and it was all controlled remotely by OSC. So I would say let's start. And before we do anything, before you start to do a show, you have to plan it, and let's go through the basic steps of planning a show. Let's say your show, you're the art director or whomever says, okay, we want the main position for showing videos. Okay, this can be a screen, this can be something, but you have always mainly a main position where you want to put your main videos, your main messages. Okay, so let's say we have a main position A in the room. Then, of course, the mirror head can move in the room. We can change the position. So the next step is, well, let's say we have some effect positions. These positions can be light, this can be fire, this can be some effects, some flares or something in the room. Then we have some movement. Let's say we have some butterflies flying from left to right or from right to left in the room, or some steps on the floor going into a direction of an important product or whatever. And then we want some ambient light. We want to change the mood of the room with the ambient light. So our show, let's say it like this. We start with some ambient light color. A star in this case means I like to write down a show like this. A star means this can be multiple. This can be a random value out of a given set, or it can be totally random, or it can change. Okay? So let's say we start in the time with some coloring of the room. Then we want to show, after we did the coloring, a video on the main position. After this, we want to go to effect position, either B1 or B2. This is an OR, so this is random, this or this. Then we go to we change the LED in the room again, so we change the light. Then we go back to our main position. Then we go again randomly to a B1 or B2, back to our main position showing some video, changing the light again, and then doing some movement, C to D. So, and then we go back, let's say, return to our main position. So this is the basic timeline of our show. The timeline is written left to right. I will start to break it down from top to bottom. As you see, before we even start programming, we start to do our concept how the show will run, what we will do. So it's important always when you do creative stuff or creative shows to know what are you doing, what do you want, and where will you go. So when I write it this way, up and down, I can make spaces, and you see return. Let's say return is return to the top. Let's say here's the start, and every time when I say return, I return to the top. So LED A1B. What's missing in this timeline is the time between the steps. So it's still missing how long to wait, we don't know. Oh, sorry. How long to wait? We still don't know how long to wait between the steps. Okay? So this is something we have to fill in later when we time the show. Okay, since we already know what we want, so a main position, two effect positions, some movements, and some LED, we can start to program with the MDC. In the lower right of the screen, you see two live shots of the mirror head. One is the mirror head itself with the projector and the mirror, and the LED head, it's the lower right. And on top you see the view in the room. And now I will start with my project. What I did, I just took a basic template, and what I'm doing here was covered in the other webinars, so I don't focus on this right now in depth. So I will start with the basic steps of programming. Okay. So I return this, and the first thing I want to have my, what do I need for my show? What footage do I need? So I import the footage by just clicking there. We want our logo, we want this, we want some bubbles, some flyers, some videos, some butterflies. Well, steps I already have. Okay, so now I'm importing all the footage. Okay, this is done. So here you see the footage of the ISA promotion. So our tasks say main position showing videos. I have imported two videos here, and I start with this video here. And now let's do the main position. So let's go with the DMX, position it in the room. Please note, today I don't really do it exactly, I just do it so we have something to work with. Let's say this is our main position. I do some corrections here so that it looks nice. Okay. Yeah. Okay, looks kind of okay. So this is our main position for the video. But please note, we said we want to show on this position, we want to show many videos. So when I now do a preset in this position with this video, every time I call this preset, this video here will start the unpacking of the mirror head. But is this really what we want? No. What we want is to go to this position with this image correction here shown on the output, but we want then choose what video to play. To do this, we need a little trick. We insert here a blank video or a blank image, and a blank image in our case, because we are doing projections, is a black video. So to do this, we just save this preset with a black video. If you don't have a black video by hand or in your footage, it's easy. Media, add black and white, and that's why this point is here. You now have a black and a white media. I add the black media here. The next step is, what do you want to save? We want to save the mirror position, it's down here, and we want to save the map. Okay, those two things, and now we have a preset. We call it A or task A or whatever, task A. That's task A here. Okay. So another thing is, how long do we want to take the mirror there, and in what kind we want to take it. Let's say 2 seconds to reach this position and to do the map transformation. And the other thing is, we want to do black when move. So this position is always reached by black when move, no matter where we come from. We go to this position with black when move. So the output fades out and we come back here. Okay, let's try it. We go somewhere, play a video like this and call our preset. It's going dark and it comes back on and it stays black. Well, because we said it's black, it's a black media inside. So now we can choose what video we want to play. Okay, the first task is done. We've done this. Okay, next step, 2 effect positions. Okay, I reset my output on both sides. I'm saving that much because I'm doing the screen capturing stuff here, and there is running OBS and all the things, so you have to live stream, and to be on the safe side, I'm saving. So let's do some fire stuff here. Fire is always nice. Again, what I'm doing, I go, let's say here to the tree, and then I'm changing the map. Yeah, today it's hot outside here in Vienna, so I'm doing some fire. Okay, let's say this is my effect position. What do we have? We have the mirror, we have the layer of the effect. What do we want? We want it black when move. Yes, we want to reach this position, fade it out, so the effect of the fire, wow, wham, comes in. Okay, let's save it and let's call this. It's an effect position. Let's say this is P1. This is task B1. And we want to reach it faster than the thing before. And it's black when move. So, well, it's fine. So let's check out what we have already done. We have our task A. It's the position of the main video. It's black, okay. And now we go back and boom, here is the fire. Well, nice. So now we need another effect position. Let's reset this. Let's choose another effect media. Let's say the bubbles here. And with the bubbles, we go somewhere on the left side. So yeah, it's kind of nice. Okay, I'm not focusing on correction and things like that. We are focusing on the show itself. So we have, again, our map. We have our position. We have our media. And let's say this is black when move again. Okay, so save this preset. Okay, and rename it task B2. Okay, so task B1, WAP, fire, task B2, WAP, effect on the wall. Okay, so we have done this line. It's done. So now the next step, some movement. What does some movement mean? Some movement means we need a first position and a second position. So this is again 2 presets, where we start and where we end. Okay, to do the animation of the movement, I've chosen some butterflies. And the butterflies, let's position them a little bit lower left. Yeah, a little bit down here. But this time I'm turning them and making them a little bit smaller. Now bigger again. Okay, they look quite nice. Again, this time we start again with black when move, because we want to reach the butterfly position without movement. We just want wham, butterflies here, and start them to move. So again, what we want to save in the preset, we want to save the map with the butterflies, we want to save the mirror position, and DMX is black when move, that's fine. So okay, let's say, and this is task C, and task C is here, it's for the movement. Okay, so let's call it, it's everything fine. Task B, I always check it, so you never know. Okay, so we did this. So in the next step, we need D. That's the target position for our butterflies. Since we want the movement from C to D, we don't want black when move. So I turned black when move off. We don't want that. And in the first step, I'm just doing the movement here with the butterflies. Let's say they fly here. and during the flight they rotate like this and they grow up. Okay, wow, that's nice. It's fine. Okay, now we have to do some savement. Okay, we want again map and DMX. You see, it's always the same. Map, DMX, because we're always saving both. We want both, map and DMX. So again, I'm saving it, and this is task D, and normally I start, this is a start, and this is an end task. So I know this is a movement, something, they work together. So okay, go to the start, here, it's black and move, and now we move here to the end. You see, the movement is quite fast, and let's say we want this movement happen in 5 seconds, but we want, let's say 3 seconds and 8 seconds for the map transformation. So it looks like this, they go over there, and then they start slowly to turn and go bigger. Okay, so we're done. We're almost done. We have our some movement is done. Okay, now we need the ambient light. And the ambient light, as you see, is totally disconnected from movement for anything. So what we want, we need a preset for just the ambient light, and I show you how it works. When we go over here to DMX and choose RGB and double click on the window, we get the RGB control window. And RGB in the DMX software of the MDC, it's quite easy to manage. You have a main intensity. I'll leave it at 100 because otherwise we would burn out on the screen down, checking the luminance. Let's say we want some red light in the room. Check it. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, you see we have an intensity and we have a red channel. And the red channel is 100, green is 0, blue is 0. Okay, so this is the RGB output. And now we just do a preset for this. Just for the RGB. So I make sure only the RGB is selected. And now I double click and call it LED red. Okay, and the fade time should be 1 second on the DMX. Okay, now I turn it to 0, go over and do 100 on green and call it LED green. Okay, let's check. Red and back to green. Now we are fading from green to black, from red to green, sorry. And for the sake of it, we do the last one, 100, it's blue, and we call it LED blue. Okay, so we have red LED, green LED, and finally our blue LED. So we also can mix it. We can do bright light. Let's do it. 100, 100. Now we are almost white. On this camera, it will look a little bit different. It will be a little bit redshifted due to the effect of the camera and the white balance, because this is not perfect on this webcam. But we call it LED white. LED white. So what we now have is a very nice show. Let's check if we have everything done. Okay, so let's try our show. Okay, so let's do some well, testing if it really works. We want to start with our LED. Let's choose some green LED, and then we go to A. Okay, A is black. It's correct. Now we choose our media. Okay. Oops, sorry. Now we choose our media. Okay. Then we go to either B or B2. Okay, well, that's nice. So we can go through all the show, and that's it. That's our show. What we now have to do is to program it. To program it in how we want it. We wrote it down, and we want to realize this show. There are many ways to do it. You can use the timeline, but this time I will focus only on the OSC or programming language of the MDC-X system and the MDC. So you can, it's the most powerful. because when you remote control the MDC-X with any other software like QLab or a DMX software, the steps are the same. So once you start programming with the preset or OSC system, you have always the possibility to do remote controlling, like with a Raspberry Pi, or writing your own interface, or using some other timeline or queuing system in your DMX table, or something like that. So we have to write something so the program understands what we want to do. Okay? To do so, I save our project, I go to my main position, because the last position that I choose here is the position that the program chooses when it starts. So we want to start black. We want to start with our task A, black position, and that's all. Okay? And no ambient light, so, well, that's it. We save this project and quit this project. This step I'm doing now you always have to do, because the whole DMX and OSC back layer is only generated when you start the program with MDC Touch. The reason I told in the last webinar for MDC Touch is the MDC Touch is the main control interface for doing shows, and it will help you to do programming very easily, because what you can touch on MDC Touch, that is the thing that you can program. I show you now. I start my MDC Touch. I can also do this on a remote computer. And here I have my webinar I just programmed. And what I do, yes, I want to start it. The first time I load a project in MDC Touch, it takes a little time, because it's using all the it's pre-processing all the media inside and doing some caching and things like that. What you see here is a sneak preview of the upcoming version of MDC Touch. It will be released after the ISA in 2 weeks. If you already know MDC Touch, you only know the first part here, but not the second part, where you have a preview of the media that is inside the map and things like that. There's a sneak preview. I can show you. You will have the possibility to change here if you want a detailed project page or not. I turn this off, so you are on the same level as I am. If you're running the system now, oops, sorry, did some mistake. I must close this. We don't need this, and we don't need that. So, yeah. Now we're here. This is the normal view. What you see here are our tasks A, B1, B2, C. So we are already at A. So I choose map 1 because we want to change the media on map 1. And here we are. This is our main position. And let me check. Yeah. And now we go to B1. That's the fire. Let's go to B2. Well, it works. What you see, what I can press here is also a command here. So let's do some green light in the room and go to the butterflies, start position, and let the butterflies fly and change the ambient light to blue in the meantime. Okay, so that's the basic thing. And now we start to do our program for this. It's very easy. There is an auto template or a generator for the automatization, and I just choose auto template, choose my webinar file. This is the file I just edited. It's the same here. This is this project. I just say open, and it says okay, auto blah 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 template created. Okay, what I now do is I go to my document folder. And here is the auto template, AA webinar MDC auto template. That's just a template. I can double click and open it. And what you see here is lots of information. But basically, let's go down. A hashtag at the beginning is also always a comment. It's ignored by the program completely. Okay, so here, let's scroll down. What you see is, a preset count. We have 9 presets in one layer. And here you see the name is task A, task B1, B2, C, D, LED red. Oh, that's the same as the buttons here. And that's the same the preset we arranged or we did during the programming of the show. Okay, so here you see the media that was loaded into the project. That was the media. That's the same as I see here. Okay, now we want to realize our show. The first step when I have the template is I like to do it, File, Save As, and I rename it. What I do is show 1, version 1, and then I have to name it MDC_auto. The same like here. You can choose whatever you want before. No spaces, no special characters, just plain characters and numbers, please. Otherwise, you can mess up your system when you do some backups between Windows and Mac and stuff and things like that. Please don't do it. Just use basic characters, no special, no spaces, okay? It's better for all of us. So MDC_auto, you must name it .mdc_auto so the system detects it as an automatic file. Okay, I save it. So now I can start programming. I can delete all that stuff if I don't want, but for orientation, it's easier to do. So what we have to do is we just have to realize what's here. We have to translate it into the OSC message of the automatization. So we don't need a start, but we need something to do. We need to choose all maps. The first thing, I just copy and paste the all maps. I want to work on map 1. Since we only have one map, you see it here on the MDC Touch, map 1 or all maps. It's just one map we have to choose. Okay, so first, as I mentioned before, here, there in the spaces, we don't know how long does it take between the steps. So now we have to think how long it takes between the steps. Let's say we choose map 1 and then we wait 1 second. H equals 1 means hold 1 second. It's up here. You can also do random halting, but now we do simple steps. Hold 1 second. The next thing in our show description is we want to choose a LED Ambient Lighting. Okay, and let's say we start with the red LED. And the syntax for the OSC command is always the same. It's MDC_layer. We have only worked with one layer. Please note, a layer is not a map. A layer is a completely new instance inside the MDC. It's mostly used on MDC-X2 systems to realize special shows or things like that. Mostly this part, the first part, mostly is the same. It stays the same. Okay, but you know MDC layer 1, and then you name your preset. Preset number 6, and you see preset number 6 was LED red. Okay, so let's call preset number 6. After we called preset number 6, that was the red LED, let's wait 1 second. Okay, so let's say we choose here and wait 1 second. The next thing, we go to our position to our main position. Okay, what was the main position? It was task A. Task A was preset 1. Now you maybe will say, okay, this is very confusing, so much words and things like that, and copy paste. I don't get it. Well, you can use MDC Touch to help you. When you go to presets here, you see in the braces here, you see numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, these are the preset numbers. Preset 6 here is preset 6 LED red. Oh, that's nice. We are on layer 1 and we are on the MDC. So if we want to accomplish task A, like our show description says, the next is task A. Well, let's just look at preset 1. I click it. Okay. Now we are on task 1 and I choose it. So what I do now is MDC, layer 1, preset 1. Preset 1 is task 1. Okay. We reached now preset 1. And you see, preset 1 takes 2 seconds on the map and 2 seconds on the DMX. And you see here DMX. It means that DMX is used in this preset. So the preset is moving. It's moving the mirror. So DMX. So we need 2 seconds to reach the position. So we need to wait at least 2 seconds. So we need to wait 2 seconds. But what if we don't want to wait 2 seconds, but we want to wait 2.5 seconds? So there's another command, it's called S, it's for milliseconds. So 1000 means 1 second. So we want to sleep 1500, it's 2.5 seconds. Okay, so now we are on preset 1. And the next thing is, it's black out there. Okay, we have to choose a meteor because inside the preset 1 we stored the black meteor. So we go to preset and let's say we want to play this video. Okay, you see this meteor here, there are also the 6, 7, 2, 1, the numbers in front. This is the ID of the media inside the project. So this is slot or media 10 inside the layer 1. So what we have to do is to choose it. And to choose a meteor, it's the same syntax as before. MDC layer 1 media and then the media ID. So for this video it's 10. So what I write here is MDC layer 1 media 10. Okay, so that's what I've done here. First I clicked here and this was the task A, then media 10. Okay, and then you have to know how long to wait. So again, how long to wait? We don't know. Let's say we wait 10 seconds here. 10 seconds would be, yeah, you know it, it's 10. Hold equals 10. So the next in our show description is either B1 or B2. I'll make some spaces here, so we better see it. Either B1 or B2. Spaces is good. You can do spaces here also. The program does not care. So the next is either B1 or B2. So what's B1 and B2? B1 is either ID2 or ID3, B1 or B2. So let's do it randomly. So how to do this? It's layer 1, preset, and now we say equals 2, 3. So now the program chooses by random 2 or 3. Every time it goes through, the next time it will be 2 or 3. Okay, the preset needs 1 second to reach. Is a black wind move? The star down there, let us know it's black wind move. Okay, so we reach the special effects position and hold there for 5 seconds. Okay, and now, well, we are already here. 5 seconds. And now we have a LED change in our show description. Okay, let's do some LED change. First we got 6. Let's say we change to 7 or 8. Why? Because here's a star. We said, okay, it can be random. Okay, but we can also choose of all of them. So we can 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, let's do it. So MDC layer 1 preset equals 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we are here. Now we go back to our main position. Our main position was this. After the change of the LED, we wait 1 second. You always have to wait some time after you called preset or something. After every slash comment, you have to wait. You can't do comments instantly because the program needs some time. So the smallest time you can do is 250 milliseconds. It's on the safe side. So 1 second is always good. You don't have to hurry. Don't hurry. Okay. So this is 10. So let's say this time we choose media 11 to play. We play it 10 seconds. And then our next step is again B1 or B2. B1 or B2. Again, B1 or B2. So this preset B1 or B2 is 2 or 3. Okay. When you want some comments, you can always do this. You can do task A. You start task A. And here is my whatever I wanna tell myself. So you know where you are, what you're doing inside your show program. So just 1 second. Okay. Good. Now we are here. Whatever I want to tell myself, we have preset 3, and now we can go back. I see it's already. We need to hurry a little bit. Okay. The last thing, I've only imported 2 main videos, so I do a shortcut. So on the next thing we want to realize is 2 or 3. This is our main effect, and now we do our movement position. It's from task Z to task D. So we call the preset number 4. That's the butterfly start position. Let's check it. We go to our butterfly start position here. Then let's say we wait there for a few seconds, and then we call preset. What's the final position? It's 5, and it needs 8 seconds. You see it here, 8 seconds needs the map to transform. So we have to wait at least 8 seconds for our next command to send. So we go 5, and we wait at least, let's say we want the butterflies to stay on this position a little bit, 12 seconds. Well, in between of this, we could have do another LED. Let's copy this and insert it here, because in the timeline we said here, after this there is a LED. This was skipped. I skipped it, and we want the LED before we do the translation. Okay, so this is LED again, and this is movement, and well, 12 seconds, and return. We return, and this tells the program to start here again. So that's it. That's the OSC representation of our program. As I said before at the start of the webinar, these comments here can be sent over to the MDC-X system with any other software too. So if you enable, I go outside and show you, if the OSC proxy here, the OSC proxy is enabled for the system, you can send OSC comments with other software to the system, these comments, and the MDC software will execute these comments. So this programming is basic. So you can do your Python program. It's very easy. There are millions of OSC libraries out there to do a very, very basic OSC setting or remote command and trigger system. Okay, now we have our show, and now we want to run the show. And I will show you some trick. The main thing is you go here, press F5, and your show will show up. See? My show here is here. When I click here, the automatization will start. But what if I want to debug it? What if I want to test it? Trick is you open your XFC terminal here and type opt MDC OS bin MDC automatic, and then you go home MDC user documents. I was always asked this many times. This document here is documents with C. I'm using the German operating system, but normally it's documents with C. Documents, and then my show one MDC auto. When I click it here, the automatization will start, and you see now all the automatic we've done before We start, you see, send OSC, media 10. Now we will choose random, our fire. So it takes some time. Now it goes again, media 11. Now we are back on the main position with the next media. We are already here. Now again, we do 2 or 3, let's see. Bubbles, okay, the random generator was nice. The next step is we're doing LED change. It's already done in the background. Now we do some movement of our butterflies, and after the butterflies are done, we return to the top. Well, that's it. Our show is running. That's the basic show, and we did it in 40 minutes, even with planning and description. So when you've done it 2 or 3 times, you will do it in 10 minutes. It's very, very, very easy. Because if you want to change something like timing or something like here, just change the numbers and save it, do a backup. It's just a text file. So this is debug mode. You can do Control-C to stop it. So we are happy with it, and this is the perfect show. Let's integrate it in our system, and let's integrate it for a daily schedule. So let's say at 10 o'clock in the morning the show starts, and in the evening when the shop closes or things like that, the show should stop itself. Okay, so how to integrate it? First, I start the show over MDC Touch. Now I'm not longer starting it with the debug interface. We can close it, the show here, because we don't need it anymore. When I go to the status, I see 2 things. I see the running project, AAA Webinar 1, AAA Webinar 1, and I see warning automatic task job found, system is in automatic mode. Yes, you see it in the background, the show is running. So first things first, we want to integrate it in the system, so the system now knows this show with this project is my default. Okay, so let's check it. Go to Control, Setup, scroll down, and here you see Default Projects Automatic. Let's say my default project is this AAA Webinar 1, and now we have the possibility to say start it on boot or start it on turn on. Start it on boot means whenever the MDC-X system boots, so it's a cold start, the default project is automatically started. The other thing is start it on turn on. What's start on turn on? Turn on is the turn on button. I show it here. The turn on button and the turn off button. So the system can start and you can go with your tablet or your cell phone or your mobile or your remote computer in your network, log into MDC Touch, click on turn on, and the show starts. So it depends. Boot is always, well, when the system starts, it always starts. I don't like the boot. It's comfortable when you have the system in front of you and can press the button on the MDC. It's perfect, but otherwise it can be a little bit confusing when you're debugging and things like that. When the system reboot, you have to do a reboot or something like that, and then the system crashes. Well, it depends. Start on boot. I show you something. Start on boot also means when you press the button here in front, it will turn on. Okay, so this is start on boot when the system was down. So let's say Webinar 1, we want to start it on turn on. Our default automatic is our show 1. As you see, you can have many automatics for a project. Let's say you want a different timeline for your show without LED or without the B1 and B2s, just the A's and the movement. Well, that's very, very easy. We just open our show in the document folder, and then we get rid of the things we don't want. Let's say we don't want the A1s and B1s, whatever. We don't want that. And we don't want the LED stuff. That's a 6, 7, 8. We don't want that. And say save as. And let's say show 1 version, show 1 boring. That's the boring version. Or say no LED, no LED, no effects. So that's another version of the show. It's shorter. And when I go, just 1 second, automatic, and press F5, I have to refresh this page. And you see there is show 1, no LED, no effects. So MDC control setup, and you will see the default project is our webinar. And now we can choose what's the default automatic. So you can have many automatics, but you have to know to which show, to which project it corresponds. But you can have many, so you can choose it. So let's say on the turn on button, it's okay. And well, that's it, submit changes. So now after a reboot, I don't do it now because the stream would stop. You can have your, when you press this button next time, everything will turn on and the show will start and the automatization will start. When you go here later on when you reboot, you will see that the default show is always in blue. So then here you see project is blue and the automatic is blue. This means this is the default. So the default blue button is the default. So you always see what's the default if you want to start. Okay, so we now have our show, we have our automatization. Whenever we want to go into the show, okay, here we are and the show is running. So now what we want to do is we want to start the show at a specific time, at a specific date or every day. So what we have to do is to use the scheduler. To use the scheduler, we press down here and start the MDC scheduler. When you first start it, it's all empty. And because there is no scheduled task for a special time. And you can do it like this. We create from a template. And there are some templates already we give to you. So it's easy. The scheduler is basically based on cron. Cron is one of the most worldwide used scheduling systems, and this MDC-X is a Linux system, so it uses cron or fcron behind. So we have some templates, and you can control hundreds and hundreds of things with the time scheduler, because there's a backend, there's a daemon system behind that controls the whole system, turning projector on, projector off, and things like that. And in the manual of the MDC-X, in the quick setup guide, there is a section called scheduler, and what I explained to you now is also here explained. And there are the commands you can send to the scheduler. And there are you can start jobs, end jobs, load jobs, and so on. So this is very, very powerful. Here is the OSC command list. Also what I explained, MDC layer, it's also here what you can do. You can read that. Okay, let's say we want to start our show at a specific time. And the first thing every day is we want the mirror head to start. You can expand this if you want it. System start, we want to start all mirrors, that means 0. It's in the manual, but first things first, we want to start. And we want to start it at, well, a given hour. Let's say we want to start it at 9 o'clock, 0 minutes, every day, every month, every weekday. So on every day at 9 o'clock. Add. Just say don't show again. Okay, oops, sorry. I just messed my system up, I think, before. Yes, sorry. Well, you can, I explained it to you, I just messed my system with some permissions up before. No problem. Here you have MDC start, default show stop, default automatic stop. Since we have already done some automatic things here, setup, we have chosen some defaults. The default show and the default automatic is the template you want. All you have to do is when you say, okay, I want the default, I want to say when does it stop, when does it start, and when does it end. Because we also have templates for mirror head shutdown. That's when does the system go down, when is the projector turned off. So that's how you do your basic setup for time scheduling. And so you can manage, you can even change tasks between the days. So on different times on a day, you can change the show and do very, very nice things with the Mirror Head and the MDC. Okay, so back to the beginning. Where is my documentation? We had an idea of a show. We broke it down into parts. So where, what, when. We did a basic timeline in our mind on our papers and sketched it. Then after we did the sketch, we realized, we checked if it works in the MDC. Let's go back. We realized our concept of our show in the MDC software. We did our presets for all the tasks we want to do and all the steps. We broke it down, we checked it. After that, when it worked here, we saved our project in the state we wanted when it starts. So this was our final step. Okay, we saved it. Quit, I don't save it now. Then we did go back to the MDC Touch, started our project, and then after we started the project, now it's black, so the project won't show anything when you start it. So you have to know, okay, what are you doing? So when you start a project with black, it's always a little bit dangerous, because you think, hey, where is my project? Nothing is running. If you see here on the status your project is running, it's really running. Maybe you're just using a black media out there. So okay, here I can change the media. Okay, then I started with an automatic template. I created an automatic template from my project. I went to the document folder, opened my automatic created template and saved it as a new name. I saved it as show 1. I do it again with some other name. I said again show .mdc.auto. Okay, saved it again. So I have saved it under new name. Then I started to write down my show, like with the comments here. I wrote the show down, I saved it. After I saved it, I did a test of the show with the comment here. You can do this. You don't have to do this, but you can do this. You use the internal automatic comment opt-MDC OSC and MDC automatic. There is a small manual describing all the comments you will find in the MDC operating system for debugging and developing. These are advanced comments for the advanced user, but they are very helpful because you're very fast when you know how to use them. So don't be afraid of text. Don't be afraid of this. This is very, very easy and very quick to do, and you have much more information. So these are the comments, and you can do it also remotely with OSC or DMX. So after the ISA 2016, here again we're on the booth of Optoma and Vividtech. The big show is at Optoma with the main dynamic panorama with soft edge and things like that. Another thing I want to tell you is that the Mirror Head, the MDC software is now in a new generation. We have dynamic soft edge technology inside, where you can add dynamic soft edges and animate them throughout the show over your outputs and over your maps. It's very, very exciting. It's very, very powerful. On the ISA we will show all of that. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's webinar, and I hope you now have it. It's easy for you to make a small show with the MDC. Again, it's not difficult, it's just a few steps. If you know what you're doing, no problem. Start with a basic concept, scratch it down, test it out in your room, go around, write it down. And again, we are on the ISA, and I want to show you something else. For more information about the Mirror Head and the news and all of that, please subscribe to our newsletter. Visit our website. We have compatibility with many projectors out there. Watch our videos where you can see how shows really work, how it goes into action, and what the Mirror Head can do for you. It's very powerful. It's a perfect tool for doing amazing shows. So visit our website, visit our training channel. So I'm Martin Wilner. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and have a good day, and see you next time at the webinar of MDC. Thank you. Bye bye.